Hello and welcome to another episode of Dawncast. I'm Dai Lee. Today we've got the wonderful Bernie Zelvis joining us. Now, you might not have heard of Bernie. He's probably not a household name on the Australian public landscape. But in the world of Australian pay TV and live music broadcasting, his work is legendary. Let's give it up to Bernie Zelvis. Welcome to Dawncast, Bernie.
Thank you. Thank you. Apparently I'm famous amongst famous people.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now, you are probably known as a mad scientist and mechanically minded boy from Wollongong, but ending up having a career in television. Can you tell us how that happened?
Oh, well, actually, it always starts when you're a kid. So, when we were kids, we were into rockets and things like that because you could go down and buy them at the army surplus store.
Yes.
Until they started coming. You probably know because you come from the same area.
I know, yes. Yeah.
Rockets would come to the roofs of people's houses, right?
I shared with Bernie that when my family arrived in Australia as refugees from Hong Kong camps, we were settled at Ferrymeadow Migrant Hostel, and Bernie's from there. Now, you grew up in Corrimal.
Yeah.
And coming from a working class background.
Yes, absolutely. 6
kids. Tell us about that.
Oh, 6 kids.
Is it right?
Six. Yeah.
You forgot how many siblings you've got?
Yeah. Just a big family. That's why I eat everything in front of me. And it's a funny thing. I went to China.
Yeah.
Right. In China culturally, you leave something on the plate.
Yeah.
Whereas where I come from, you don't.
All right.
I just ate so much because they kept coming out with more. Right?
Well, what was it like growing up in Corrimal?
We spent most of the time down the beach. So it's a beach suburb. Used to go swimming a lot, running through the sand hills. They bulldoze them down, the ones down near Bellambi. They got bulldozed down. They built housing commissioner, which was a crime because they were Aboriginal middens. You could go down there any time and have a look at. I guess we were just used to Aboriginal implements. They'd fish a lot down that particular tribe. I guess.
Right.
Yeah, that mob they call it, don't they?
So what were you like as a child?
Troublemaker. Actually, it's a good question because I sometimes get students at TAFE that remind me of me, and they're really annoying.
Reflects, it's mirroring you.
Yeah, they're always telling jokes, they're always, trying to run interference, and they're always too clever for their own boots. And, while you're trying to teach some other people who might be a bit more serious about their career path, you've got some young ones coming up, being like little troublemakers, but you can't dislike them because they're so clever and they're so sharp. They've just got plenty of spare brain cells to work with. Yeah. I think we were into technical things. Yeah, actually, way back, my mate David Dickinson, we started a photography club. We also started a film club, and that's where I got interested in film. Made our first movie, actually, which is somewhere on Facebook from way back then, on 8mm. So I guess that's like whatever you're interested in.
So what was your passion? What did you want to do when you grow up?
Well, there was a bit electronics. When I originally went to TAFE, I was doing electronics and a pilot's course at the same time. So because also I wanted to be a pilot. I haven't finished that yet.
Right.
That was a bit much. I was taking on and playing in a band. Right. So, when you're a kid, you think you can do everything, but there is a thing called time that interferes with those plans.
So you took on your pilot course and you still did learning filmmaking at the same time?
It was electronics back then, but then it was time to go across to film. What was I doing?
So you spent a year at university studying engineering?
Yeah.
But then you moved to TAFE. Tell us why.
Well, TAFE is more practical, right? So, I just wanted to get my hands on things and make stuff. I made my first radio transmitter at 13. So you go to university, it all gets a bit, academic and theoretical for a while before you actually do stuff. So TAFE just felt better for that. And I was working in electronic warfare for the Navy for a while. That was really interesting.
Yeah.
I still know some secrets, so I can't tell you.
What is electronic warfare? What does it involve?
Well, it's using things like radar mainly and electronic means of being deceptive to the enemy. So Like Australia has we have a.
What was that like, though? I mean, you're kind of skirting through here.
Well, we're short, right? But like I've been down in the bowels of a ship and seen the sonar, and we developed a sonar system back in the 80s that when you ping, like you would see submarine movies where they go ping and you know where they are.
Yes.
When an Australian submarine goes ping, you have no idea where they are because there's a special process of processing those pings that they appear to come from somewhere they're not.
So what are you saying?
I can't tell you anymore.
But what did you work? What did you develop? In
in the early days,
for the electronic warfare?
I was only there for a year.
Did you work on any major project that you?
Well, for the first year, we were allowed to do anything we want, right? So we were kind of like the higher level trainees, right? So I was in a band, and it was really hard to get high powered amplifiers, and so we made power amplifiers. But the caveat was that you can't just go to the shop and buy the stuff. You have to specify transformers and stuff and send it downstairs to the trainees, so that the wind the transformers, had to calculate the power so the thing wouldn't overheat and catch fire. And made a nap. They called it the barbecue, right? Because it was made out of military grade aluminium welded, giant transformers inside. It was like heavy, took 2 people to carry it.
Wow.
And it looked like a barbecue.
But were you working inside a sub?
Oh, no.
No.
No. There's a Rosebery building still there, an old RTA building.
Right.
They took that over for a year and all the trainees were in there. That was pretty interesting. So the different levels. And we were on the highest level because we're the highest level trainees.
How come you were only there for a year?
I moved on to TV.
Ah.
Yeah, I was always interested in TV. I was like, even at school. So I was the only person in school that got first level science, physics pass, and a conceded 3rd level maths pass. Apparently that's not possible. But I did it. So, and one of my subjects was television. It was television, relativity, and angular momentum. There you go.
Right.
As soon as I walked into a TV station, I saw relativity there right in front of my. Because you could see these little signals where little clocks are going round and round. Call it colour burst clocks were going. I was like, well, how's that happen, right? Oh, that's because the signal's going up to a satellite, and in the daytime it gets dragged out by the sun, and then it comes back, and the time difference changes. And
My God, you're talking about quantum
stuff. Yeah. So that was like, oh wow, this is pretty cool.
So what was your first television job?
I was master control, basically watching TV, right, and noting down anything that goes wrong, and answering late night. You'd be the only person on the TV station, so you'd be answering all those phone calls you get from lonely housewives.
So what fascinated you about television that drew you into the television world?
I was just making stuff. So like music, I mean, there was a music thing. I moved to Perth, and I wanted to direct. That's where I decided I wanted to get away from engineering. So I designed stuff and things. I thought, that's boring. Yeah, I started doing some technical directing, and then that's kind of like you're in television anyhow. That's your way in because you understand the equipment. Because ultimately, even here, this is a technical environment, and you need to have mastery over that before you can take that tool and be creative, right? So I often
setting up and how the sound.
Yeah, and the same with music. Like you get 2 sticks, you start clicking them together, and then the way you click them together, you can create emotion and transfer that across the system. That's really fascinating. So I was actually more fascinated with how people receive information and feel about transmitting feeling. The piano is a machine. It's just like these notes are all in order. And you can get some,
how you can connect the content or what we nowadays call content. You're saying how do we create that in the settings that you create that, and how that then get transmitted, and then how that affects another person when they listen or they watch. Yeah,
on a one-dimensional line, which is what we're doing here. It's just a volume thing going up and down, and we're changing the way people think and feel about stuff. It's amazing.
Now, you work on many different projects in your career, many of them music-related, but what have been your most memorable directing? You got channel, you said Big Day Out, live shows, Nickelodeon, Kids. Can you tell us what?
Well, the biggie I think that me and my friends who worked on it all remember is the Lady Gaga Monster Hall.
Right.
And my favourite quote of as when Lady Gaga calls me over and says, "Bernie, please make me look beautiful." It was like, oh, melt. Right.
So you worked with Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Wow. And what was? Is it her tour?
No, actually, it was a special gig. She was discovered in Australia, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, by a friend of mine actually, and she was the head of.
So you can reach out to Lady Gaga.
Oh, I don't know. I'd like to.
Well, if she was discovered in Australia.
Yeah. She
surely
first
can you?
If you have a look, if you look it up, Lady Gaga Monster Hall Sydney. In fact, you'll say right at the beginning of the gig because it's on her Vimeo channel. Right at the beginning, I broke first here in Australia, and so been drinking water, so bit of a burp. But they came over and put on a free gig, right, and it was a big deal. I've got stuff of behind the scenes the day before rehearsing with the dancers, and all of that, and I've not been going to put it up because copyright issues. But it's very funny.
Couldn't you get permission from Lady Gaga? Did you? Because you made her look beautiful. I have no doubt.
Oh, she was awesome. Right, she's the real deal. Right, some people say, "What's she like?" Look, also directed a show with her live at the Chapel, and that was the first time. That was the first time I'd met them. Went in 20 minutes in the green room with her and management. My comment was, "There's a few holes in that Swiss cheese." Right. So, but they were kind of like pretty new back then, right? And so, but she's like the real deal. That gig she was put on for her little monsters. So she was like the odd one out in school, the ugly one, and she's grown up and made a career overcoming that, and then. That was put on first, so it was a free gig. I reckon it would have cost. I should ask actually, but I think it'd be close to $1 million, maybe $800,000 to put that thing on.
Wow!
Because Sydney Town Hall's not inexpensive.
No.
And we built a set specially for it, right? So there's a lot going on.
And your work around that is the set, the technical side.
Well, it had something to do with that. Yeah, the whole thing because directors have a early input.
Yep.
Yeah, so actually, it's so funny. I wasn't sort of totally aware what a big deal this was, and turned up to a meeting at the Sydney Town Hall, and I turn up like this, actually, exactly like this. Bike leathers is right, and I walk on in, and there's 20 people on a big table, right, and everyone's dressed in suits and taking this very seriously. And I go, oh God! And this is the director. Oh, not dressed properly.
And so what was the? Obviously, you've worked with many big acts. So what are some of the impression that has been left with you in terms of working with Lady Gaga? I believe you've also worked with Brian May from Queen and Midnight Oil. What are some of the impressions that they left?
Well, Midnight Oil was that was...
Was that when Peter Garrett was still the lead singer?
Yes, and that was before he became a politician. Just before. It was 2004, I think it was, the tsunami. What was it? 2014.
God, I remember the tsunami.
Yeah.
I can't remember the year.
Yeah,
but yeah.
And a free gig was put on to raise money. It took, I think, within 2 weeks, which is unheard of, right? So, and everyone worked on it for free, and so Midnight Oil featured there, and people have, that moment where Peter Garrett became I said I was going to talk about politics, but this is funny. There was this moment, and there are these moments when you do this sort of stuff. I mean, you're working with famous people, but that's not what it is. It's like a lot of people turn up to a gig and you see different moments that change people's career.
Yeah.
And you know it when you see it.
Yes.
Like, and
So what was
that's cool.
Yeah.
And for him was like someone had a big sign up waving back and forth, Peter Garrett for PM. So that's on the Wave Aid thing. If you watch Midnight Oil, you'll see it. And you can see, and because for me, it's not just coverage. Like a lot of people who do multicam coverage in TV, it's just about coverage. But for me, it's about capturing what's going on in the head of the performer. And so you have to be really sharp. And so I cut to him, and you see his eyes light up, and you can see the moment where he considered becoming a politician, and it's there. It's there forever. So that's cool. That
good.
Stuff's really cool.
That's
right?
what you captured. What about Brian May from the Queen?
That was
the Queen. Sorry, Brian May
Queen.
from Queen.
Queen.
The Queen.
Queen. I was I agreed to make a free music video for charity, for a charity called Rock Aid Armenia, where to build a music school in Armenia that had been knocked down. I think it was 1992. There was a huge earthquake in Armenia, pretty much flattened the country.
Right.
And they'd raised money, but it was the second round of raising money. So a friend asked, "Hey, do you know anyone who can, in England, who could make a video with Black Sabbath, Deep Purple?" And I'm going, "Me?" so that was my holidays, right? So I go there and I shoot this video, and Brian May was receiving an award from the president of Armenia for the previous song, which was a remake of "Smoke on the Water." This one I was shooting was a song written by Tony Iommi, guitarist from Black Sabbath. So I was jet lagged. And this was like probably the busiest year of my life. I think it was 2010. That was the I also what was happening. I was organising a thing called the ARIA Countdown, which was the ARIA Awards, but there was the very first live broadcast for Apple, for iTunes on iPad, iPhone. So that was 2011, 2010. I think, yeah, anyhow, and that was the Lady Gaga, was that same year. So I just finished Lady Gaga. I'd flown to London to make a music video, and then Brian May was receiving an award, and I'm in the middle of the night organising this thing, because we're exactly 30 degrees off on the compass of around the Earth. So,
yes.
So it was like I didn't sleep for days, right? And I was cranky, and I was like everyone's going, "This guy's messed up."
But right. You put your hand up for it.
Totally. I live to be saturated, right? Like it's that thing about we're just puppets and we dance until the strings break.
Yeah.
That's our job.
Yes.
Right. For me, I need to do that. Otherwise, I'll get depressed. So I just got to keep working.
Okay.
Right. So retirement's not a word that's in my.
No, it doesn't sound like you're going to retire anytime soon.
No.
But I know that you've come around in terms of circle, in terms of TAFE. So you went from university and then went on to TAFE to, as you said, you want to get the practical and hands-on experience. And you're now back at TAFE teaching. You're actually back at TAFE teaching. So tell me about your role there in TAFE.
I'm teaching a couple of classes, teaching music students how to produce music videos using iPhones, which is amazing. When you think 10 years ago, what you got in your iPhone now, well, probably your Samsung as well, because they're pretty good. Cameras are just blow me away, right? Like you couldn't afford to buy a camera that good back then. Now we got them in our pockets, right? So it's about teaching this, and I think I showed you a little bit earlier. I was also doing.
It's amazing. We will probably share some of those links later on this podcast or Dawncast, whereby Bernie used iPhone or the phones, the mobile, our handset, and he teaches his students to film and edit a music clip using the iPhone or using the phone. And
even doing multicam live, you can do it that way. Although there's a few caveats because you're burning a lot of Wi-Fi channels, so you can't do that with a live audience where everyone's on their phone because no one can get on.
Yeah,
not enough channels in the universe.
But coming from the television background that you've come, in the last 40 years, I remember even in the television back in those days when you were carrying around this huge camera where you shoot
Yeah.
with a film,
Yeah.
and then you go from a film into a beta cam,
Yep.
and then into a digital.
Wow, you remember back that far?
I remember back that
when
far.
I first started Channel 4 in Wollongong, that was probably the last year or two they used film. And then Betacam came out, and then all of the technicians went on strike because it was higher duties, right?
That's right.
To work this high. Apparently, it's still like that in England.
Is
Had
it?
someone I made friends with. I gave him it was an EX3 camera.
Because they're quite big, the Betacam.
Yeah.
They're very big, and
Yeah.
you have to.
But they're very technical.
Yeah.
Film's just like a couple of cogs ratcheting
Yeah,
something
the
down.
film, you have this reel.
Yeah.
And then you move to the SP from beta to then the
Then it went digital.
Yes, digital, and then shrunk back again.
Yeah.
And then now further digital to almost like a phone.
You store it on a chip.
Yeah.
This new phone I got, it's bigger than my computer. It freaks out. Plug it in. Can't do anything with that. Like, it's got a half a terabyte on it.
But you really actually adapted really obviously well in terms of you've just embraced all the various technologies that have evolved over the decades.
Yeah, been an early adopter with everything that makes it fun. Then someone comes in behind and makes money out of it, right?
Yeah.
You got to make a choice in life.
So now at TAFE you teach your students to use this kind of technology in filmmaking?
Yeah, that's for music students. So you can make really good videos, and people are making feature films now from iPhones. And then, of course, I'm teaching multicam in screen and media, which is Cert 4, so it's a bit, higher end, using broadcast cameras, so the big ones.
So the big ones.
Yeah,
so you still got the big ones?
Yes, the big ones still exist. They still have a use.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. and if you look closely, they are better, right? So, but if you can, so everyone's consuming now on mobile media, and so you don't need the big cameras to make great shots on mobile media. It's just if you go to the movie house, you'll probably see some flaws. But then, these cameras here, they can make just as good pictures for projecting on big screen. I mean, 4K, right?
Yeah.
So 4K, when you go to the movies, you're watching 2K, right? That's the standard.
I don't know about that technology,
but
language, but
2K just means how many pixels across the line,
right.
So when you go to the movies, it's still 2K, which is you've been watching that all your life, movies,
right?
That kind of that level of precision. But now cameras are recording 4K, even your phone, so that's double the width, double the height. That's 4 times information.
Wow.
So you can fit 4 times, a cinema screen on your
phone.
Yeah.
So what's the most satisfying part about teaching at TAFE?
It's when, it's when that little light switches on, right? So you struggle, and then you do bing, and it comes on, right? And they go for it, and you go, yeah, that works. Not always students are like that, but when that happens, and you get that little light that turns on, they get it, and you go, well, that's it, my job's done. And I had a COVID's created a few problems lately because we couldn't teach live, so I'm teaching over the
internet,
over the break.
online.
Yeah, online, and then now over the break we've got access to the studio. And I wandered in on Friday with my class, and I say, I'm not touching anything. I'm going to be your talent. That's where I was doing that bit of poetry earlier.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing, and it's up to you. And they pulled together. They made a show.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, without me. Yeah, just pushed me around. Like, it's great being talent. Push around. Just do this. Just say like, "Oh, can you do that again?" All right, whatever. Right? Like having watched that happen, like from a director's thing, you start to, which is one of the great things through osmosis. You start to absorb everyone's skills. Right, so I got good at camera because they had good camera operators. You get good at managing. You asked earlier actually. Oh, Solange. Oh, I can't talk about that actually. Just realised I do get into trouble because I talk too much.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
So
and some things I'm not supposed to talk about because I signed something that's private.
So what inspires you as a teacher then?
To see people excel, right? So, there is like ways of teaching a kind of standard that I find, in this modern world, because we've all grown up with technology, I think the kids are way past all of that, and we're just trying to catch up. So I'd try and challenge them to be, like, let's say you can, they know how to work an iPhone, they know how to work a computer, and it's kind of like, okay, well, we're already to that point. Why not push them a little harder to make good stuff, right? Rather than just be adequate, right? And the whole point is to change the world.
Yeah.
It always is, right? Redemption's the only story in town.
I mean, you've worked for 40 years in the industry. So you, as we've discussed before, we've seen a lot of changes. But what do you think is the biggest change that has happened?
Well, probably this technological revolution and the fact that TV is almost irrelevant now, right? So what you're doing online is it, right? Podcasts has become, like, I believe, the number one consumable in for media, like far outstrips television, film, and so that's what I'm told. And all my friends say, "No, have you seen this podcast?" And it is kind of addictive. Go to bed, turn on a podcast, listen to it, and go to sleep, and hear experts talk about their particular thing. And so it's like slow TV, I guess. Where we just go wham, wham. I mean, I've been guilty of this through my career, is I make it quicker, make it faster, get in, get out before they get bored, change the channel before they get their finger to the button.
Yeah.
But there's a whole other outlet now. So YouTube destroyed TV because now everyone can make it.
Yeah.
Right, and some of it's not so good, but some people out there are doing amazing things just because they have ideas, and it's about ideas and about caring and about changing the world. So, and now anyone can do it.
Like us, we're
Like
doing
us.
it. You know.
Yeah.
Obviously, the media industry is going to shift a lot, isn't it? I mean, we're now seeing print is also dying.
Yeah.
And you're suggesting the television is also going to.
Oh, it already has, really.
Yeah.
It's struggling.
Struggling,
Who
yeah.
watches TV?
Oh, not. Yes, true.
Actually, it's funny. Like, it's happening around the world. When I went to China a couple of years ago, I think I'm becoming a commie, just to let you know.
No.
Right? Because
No commie
they
here.
seem to have more say in what the government does than we do, right? But that's another story. But going to an average Chinese household, right? So they've got TV on, so they're watching the equivalent to The Voice or some sort of talent show. It's all the same stuff, right? They're watching that, and you'll have 6 people in the room, and they're all on the phone, and they're all turning the volume up, outdoing each other. It's chaos, right? Right, and the internet kind of the router's going, yeah, and it goes on for hours. So they're just like way ahead of us. You're like, well, everyone does it here now. I notice you're watching TV, and there'll be 6 people on the
phone,
and they're consuming this thing continually. They never know. Don't you see that?
Yeah.
It's like us, like this.
So what's that mean for the world of, I suppose, information, where we got so much information then, and how do you know what's quality information? How do you then separate good information to just information for information's sake?
That's a really good question. That's the first time some ideas just hit me. I'll throw them out at you. So you've got 6 people in a room, and they're turning everything up, and they're showing each other. So they're using this now as a proxy for yourself. So, did you see this? Right? So rather than actually having a conversation, you see this? This is a proxy for me. Right? And so I think it's pretty warped right now. If you've got 6 people watching 6 things, and they're trying to make one go louder than the other, is that we're all feeling lonely, actually. So we're all being actually stripped of our individuality because we've been hammered. I'm making this up as we speak, right? It's the first thought. But it seems to make sense that that if you've got 6 people in a room, they're all editing things, and they're going, look at this, have a look, and they're turning it up louder and louder than each other. There's this desperate need for attention, for one-on-one.
So with these kind of changes, technology taking over our lives quite a lot, what then do you think are the pathways into this sector or this industry? Because you train them for, production skills, technical skills for television.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what
and
will
once
be
you
the
get-
pathways
And
now?
once you get over the technology, that's easy, right? That's where I start to enjoy the teaching. Is saying now you know how to do shutter, exposure, focus, and and composition. Right now you've got to say something with it, and so I'm always about what are you saying with that, because there's 4 things you can learn, and you can learn that in 4 minutes, really, if you're keen. You don't need more than that, and so but you need to be able to apply it and to create meaning and to create content, and not necessarily by speaking it, but by juxtaposing pictures together. It's sort of interesting. I don't know where it's going. I just know that we're consuming really hard, and it seems to be we've got to stop and take a breath and just breathe. That song that I played you earlier, right? I guess, and it's not going any. It's not reducing at all. Apparently, our screen time. And I remember way back, it would have been 80s. They're saying in the future screen time will go up to 6 hours a day. Well, we've gone way past that,
Yeah.
right? And we would go, there's no way that anyone can watch that much screen time, but you can, because it's in your pocket.
Yeah.
Right, on the way to work, on the way home, as you go to bed. Like I'll just watch, YouTube videos until until the iPad falls on my face.
God. Hopefully you guys don't do that at home. Don't sleep with your devices in bed. That's what I keep on telling people. Don't sleep with your devices in bed.
Yeah.
Not your phone, not your iPad, not a TV even.
Too late.
So what are some of your best tips to surviving in this industry?
Oh, just to make stuff. Yeah, I think anyone who ever got into the industry worked for free for a while. Right?
Yes,
So,
we know. We're all. This is what we do.
It's the way you work for free. You get noticed because you get good at what you do, and then people will start paying you. So, just work on and you're looking for people to help you work out here. That's the sort of thing. That's the way you get in. You start producing content, and no one's going to pay you first, right up front. So, and same with me. I've made and I still do. Made that music video for free. Still do free stuff. Can't help myself. So if I'm doing nothing, it's free stuff. Someone will come, oh, better make me a video. There goes one there, right? I've got a list of them to catch up on, right? As long as I can pay rent, I'm actually okay. Like I'm not really in this for the money.
So you think advice for young people or people who are trying to break into this industry is to give some of their time to learn on the job for free. At the same time, obviously, going to courses like yours at TAFE to pick up some of those technical skills.
Yeah, and have a passion and an angle. I think it was way back when I started off, we were casting for a kid show. This would be early 90s. And one of the things that I started to notice is that there started to be this culture of I just want to be a star. I first noticed it back then, early 90s, 1992, I think. I just wanted to be a TV host, right? So interview there was a female role for a kid show, and interviewed about 20 girls, and half of them had no interest. Are you interested in anything? I don't care. Just be interested in something, not just being
The host.
This is probably the selfie culture, not just having a pretty picture of yourself. What are you interested in? Even if you collect stamps, I don't care how boring it is, but at least have something other than yourself. Because if yourself is all you got, then you got nothing. Actually, that's probably the most profound thing I've ever said. Come on, think of it.
So what's next, Bernie? So what's next?
More profundity.
So what's next for you?
Next. Let's see. I've got a few feature films I want to make. Feature films. Will I ever go there? Now I'm not sure.
So feature film is next on your list.
I've written a few, and I got into writing for a bit, and then actually that's where I was heading at the end. I left television in 1994, and I said I'll never work in television again. And then I locked myself away for 2-3 years writing scripts.
Right.
Because I'm going into film, right?
Yeah.
Then I ran out of money.
Right.
Right. So Foxtel started. So I better go Foxtel. And a friend who was a manager there said, "Bern, we can't get directors. Come on. All right, I did that. And then I thought, this rock thing, it's pretty good, pretty cool. I'll be good at this because I was a muso and I was interested in it. So I got about as good as you can get at that, right? And sort of dominated that for a while. And then now it's time to stop and think about, well, what else can I do? So it has to change. Every 10 years I'll change tack.
Mm. Right. But you're still teaching now for the last, how many decades now?
Oh, I haven't been teaching for decades. Probably, 4 or 5 years. And in the early stages I was too radical, So... actually, this is the compliant burn, right?
Oh.
You to see me.
So we got a compliant burn here in the studio.
See me 2 years ago, the hair was down here, was going, I'll go and knock your kids around. I even had that voice, They called him the Reverend. Some people still remember that. The Reverend Burn.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Bernie.
That freaked you out, didn't it?
No, I didn't.
We'll have to go there.
So that's this Bernie Levis here. Zelvis.
Yeah.
Bernie Zelvis here with us at Dawncast. Thanks, Bernie, for his time. If you're interested in a large body of work and curated content for students that Bernie has available online, check out his YouTube channel, and we will have that link to his YouTube channel on this Dawncast because it's a very long link, so I'm not going to read it all out. But thank you so much, Bernie, for your insights.
Thank you for having me. That was fun, actually,
recollecting some memories.
Yeah, and Ferry Meadow. You reminded me
exactly.
of, the migrant hostel and all of that. It's all come back. I've got some friends on Facebook who went there.
Oh, there you go. We need to connect. Yeah. So I'm Dai Lee and I'm from Dawncast. So make sure that you subscribe to our channel. Click on the bell below here so you can get notified. And if you've got a story, so you know of somebody who's got an amazing story to share, please reach out to us. We'd love to have them on our Dawncast podcast. So see you next time. Until then, bye.